Most Stobilly children, especially teenagers, knew that the really good stuff didn't show up on TV until at least 11:30 on a Friday night. That's when Channel 8 in Cleveland handed over the reins to a weatherman and a broadcast engineer, aka Houlihan and Big Chuck. Houlihan and Big Chuck's show was an amalgamation of schlocky horror movies, song parodies, certain ethnic jokes, and sketch comedy, clearly filmed on the cheap with someone else's equipment. It was pure camp, but we watched every last minute of it, all the way to the last segment where Houlihan and Big Chuck, dressed in tacky animal print pajamas, would read jokes submitted by their loyal viewers. We needed to hear these jokes because we would inevitably be retelling them at school on Monday morning. By the end of the broadcast, we would be too exhausted to move from the couch to the TV set, so we just let it run. We just let it run. The end of Houlihan and Big Chuck may have signaled the final gasp of local programming, but it was not the end of late-night television as we knew it. Our sleep-deprived Midwestern minds could still be blown by the rock concerts featured on another channel. It may have been Don Kirshner's rock concert or the midnight special. Like any of us could tell the difference at 1 in the morning. Whichever show it was, Cousin It and the Cousin It Band were usually getting down with their bad selves on a smoke-filled stage. All I remember is that they were scary to watch, but clearly devoted to their craft. They may have been the Allman Brothers, they may have been Blue Oyster Cult, they may have even been the Doobie Brothers or Fogat, but whatever it was clearly a taste of music from the land of cool people. It's just too bad we weren't nearly awake enough to let sonic art wash over us. For those of us whose parents did not believe in the beauty of cable television, another late-night music show became our own version of MTV. NBC would show 2 hours of last year's hottest videos, but we didn't care. We got to see Adam Ant and Cyndi Lauper and Talking Heads and, well, those other guys with the hair. I think they had synthesizers, but don't quote me on that. While the midnight special and rock concert may have an abundance of soul, the late-night video show on NBC had the promise of a Madonna-like product, sir. Life for a bleary-eyed Stobilly boy became much better as soon as he learned a go-go or bangle or Benatar would play a significant role in it. With the arrival of home VCRs, the late-night music video show became one of the first things we learned to program on the timer. Meanwhile, the comedy was still going strong on other channels, even if it took a turn to the left. If Saturday Night Live was the best American late-night sketch comedy of its day, then SCTV was its hipper Canadian cousin. The cast of SCTV read like a who's who of comedy, from John Candy to Rick Moranis to Eugene Levy, with stops in between for Martin Short, Andrea Martin, Joe Flaherty, and Catherine O'Hara. SCTV, which stood for Second City Television, had the luxury of taping their segments over time, but they still maintained a sense of immediacy, like Saturday Night Live. Characters like Doug and Bob McKenzie, horror show host Count Floyd, and the Five Neat Guys became the stuff of legend. If another kid at school quoted the Farm Film Report, he blowed up real good, then you knew he was hip to the same late-night jive. It was one thing to stay up until the pajama jokes on Houlihan and Big Chuck, but something else entirely if you stayed up until the end credits of SCTV. There were many Sunday mornings when devoted SCTVers would drag themselves to church or simply call in sick and sleep until noon.